What's going on? Billy here from Storm Trades with another trade recap. Today, we're going to run through the long trade setup I got on gold futures. This is Thursday, August 28th during the New York AM trading session. Today was cool. I was actually able to get a nice pyramid entry and add on to my initial trade, which allowed me to get a almost 2.5R win. Let's get right into it. On the screen right now is the last 4 daily candles. So we're looking at the daily chart. On the daily chart, I'm going to mark up my chart the same way every single time. If you guys have watched any of my videos, I do this the exact same way. So first things first, mark out the previous daily low, previous daily high. I want to mark out a fib, okay, which basically just shows the midpoint of the previous daily range. And I'll get into why that's important in terms of where we would expect some certain price action to form. Next thing I want to look at, have we recently swept any sort of liquidity, right? Well, we did sweep some liquidity down here. Why is that important? Well, because we did that inside of a bullish daily fair value gap. So we expect price to move from internal range liquidity to external and vice versa. Therefore, we would expect price eventually to go from this internal range liquidity all the way up here to this swing high. Now that's really far away. But and we don't need price to get up there to make our trades work out. It's just we're just trying to find some logic and trying to anticipate how the daily candle is going to act. So all things being equal, I see bullish price action here. Where should the bullish price action happen, right? This is what, remember when I marked off the midpoint of the previous daily range? Well, we want to see this open low. Okay, and then we want to see a high close. We want to see that open low happen within this upper quadrant of the previous daily's range, previous daily range. Okay, so I think it's pretty clear to anyone who's watched my videos, right? When I have a clear internal to external, we've had bullish candle closes the previous couple days. I am bullish going into this day, and that's great because I was also bullish on the hourly time frame, which I'm going to pull up right now. All right, here's the hourly time frame. Now, is this hourly time frame this week? Okay, here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Does it look like the narrative that we see here on the daily candles? Of course it does, right? So let's kind of go through the week, right? Because once we get to Thursday and Friday, we've had the whole week to tell the story, right? So starting from Monday into Tuesday, right? This is where we got a nice sweep of these relative equal lows, and then a very strong candle close above the series of down close candles right here. This was our weekly change in the state of delivery. Right now, we had been going up since last Wednesday, but for this week, right, this was our manipulation on Tuesday morning. Okay, actually, it was like Monday night. Okay, so Monday night manipulation, so accumulation, manipulation. Monster candle close higher indicates our change in the state of delivery, right? We're just gonna walk through this narrative for the week, right? This series of up close candles prior to that move. Okay, once we went through that with displacement, okay, that's a breaker block. Okay, so actually this is an hourly market structure unicorn because we have a fair value gap in there. Now moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday, what do we see? Do we see a little any sort of liquidity sweep? Right, we do right here. Then our down close candles that took that liquidity were traded up and closed through. Right, so when we're bullish, we want to see down close candles be traded through with displacement, indicating that we're expecting higher prices. Now on to Wednesday afternoon, we had this hourly fair value gap we've come down and traded into, right? Again, we should expect the down close candles that go into the internal range liquidity or the external to get closed through. That would indicate strength. Okay, so here we are, another series of down close candles. We're going to indicate here another order block that we have actually just traded into. Okay, and I also want to take a look. Let's go back here, right? So when earlier on the week, right, once we had this this breaker form, right, if we were to run a fib from here, it sort of gives us targets that we should be looking towards the end of the week, right? So we haven't reached the -2 to -2.5 yet. We had a We had a sort of consolidation here and a retracement at the -1 to -1.5. All of this makes perfect sense. So I'm looking up here to the -2, -2.5. Okay, I'm expecting the price action today to form the low inside of this upper quadrant of the previous daily candle. Okay, all of this is making sense to me. Okay, especially in context with my daily bias. Now, where is price currently located? Because that's always important. Have we most recently delivered out of some sort of internal or external range liquidity? And we have, okay, we have a hourly fair value gap, and at the time of the 8 o'clock candle close, right, we had already engaged with that and moved higher. I'm expecting price to continue to move out of this. Okay, this is what I'm expecting price to do. All right. So now I'm going to move down to my M5 time frame. On this day, I'm super bullish, right? I've got a very clear bullish daily bias. It's clear to me we're in an uptrend. We're on the right side of the curve, and I've got no reason to believe that we've made any sort of change in the state delivery to the bearish to the sell side, right? So a body in motion tends to stay in motion, right? This is like the second law, Newton's second law. Maybe it's the first one. I don't know. I never really paid attention in science class, but I want to be on sides, right? So on sides right now tends to me, it looks like it's bullish. Okay, so I'm going to move down to the M5 time frame. Okay, and I'm going to clear this up, right? And what I'm looking for on the M5 time frame is a sweep, right? And I'm also keeping in mind, right, a sweep of the this is the hourly candles right here, right? So I'm also looking for that sweep, right? A sweep of maybe a previous hour candle, right? All right. So next, I'm gonna watch price, right? And I'm looking for some sort of a sweep, which we get right here. Okay. Let's see, right here. Okay. This is our sweep. And if you look here, it's a sweep on the hourly as well, right? So I'm watching price. There's a sweep, and we also on the very next candle, right? It looks like we are actually getting a liquidity raid, which for the T-trade traders, this would be a C2 sweep, right? Now, this is if you're going to trade the C2 candle. I'm not waiting on this trade for the C2 to close and then trading the C3. This is a reversal trade, so you're going to be trading the C2, but you want to watch to see if, in fact, you're getting a liquidity raid. See that right there? All right, so we have a liquidity raid. On the M5 time frame, I have a liquidity raid. Now I want to mark out the series or the single down close candle that took that liquidity, and now I'm watching to see what will happen. If we close strong above that, I would be interested in taking a trade. Now, I also want to make note that if we close through this M5 fair value gap, right, that would be an inversion. Okay, sometimes you'll see me trade on an inversion. What I like to see is an inversion get closed through with a change in the state delivery, and ultimately it would be great if I also had a breaker. I don't need all of them. I just like to see them stacked together. Okay, helps my confluence and my confidence going into a trade. All right, on the very next candle, we get a nice strong candle close through both of those PD arrays. This is exactly where I entered my first trade. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and enter this and show you where I was able to pyramid in and the logic behind it. Okay, now my stop was below this the open price of the candle here before the last M5 candle that closed through. Going down to this swing low is too much risk. Okay, you have to sort of, this is something that I start to understand with screen time is understanding where to put your stop loss. I am trying to get as close to 2R as possible. And frankly, if price had come back down here and formed like a V-shaped retracement reversal candle, and this idea would have been invalidated anyway. So anyway, I'm going to put in a buy order here, stop loss right there, and I take profit at the top up here. Okay, so I want to take profit where it makes sense. Makes sense to do it at a swing high. Okay, so I have a nice target liquidity up there. And now I'm going to show you how I was able to get involved with a pyramid entry to add to this trade, right? I'm trying to learn how to do better. I watched Trader Tom do this, Jade Cap do this, I watched Kane do this. The best traders, uh, the best professional traders out there are adding to their trades. They're adding to their winners, not adding to their losers. Okay. So I'm going to move price forward here. Okay. We got a nice rip off the beginning trade here. Came back down. Now, something I want to make note of, right? I'm following price. I'm not just setting it and forgetting. I want to follow price. We came back down and tested the change in state of delivery, tested the inversion fair value gap. But what else do you see here? Right? We came in here and we respected the midpoint of this M5 fair value gap. This is internal range liquidity. This is a down close candle into some internal range liquidity. We talked about this on the hourly time frame. When we see this and we're bullish, we want to mark it out. Okay, and if we get a nice candle close above that, it is a bullish signature in price. And if we do get that, I want to be adding there, which I did. Okay. So I believe it's on the very next candle. We got a nice candle close, right? So now I'm going to add a contract here. Okay. Now I'm going to move my risk up to this swing low. Okay, so now I have $760 worth of risk. Okay, but my new take profit would be $1,200, which is a 2.5 R win. So now I'm going to move price forward here, and boom, the very next candle we got to win. So if you guys got anything out of this at all, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe. The comments are awesome. Doing this really helps my trading. I suggest journaling, and if possible, do videos for yourself, even if you don't post them. They really, truly help. You guys have a great day, and appreciate anybody who watches these. Bye-bye.